Now, the race for COVID vaccine is heating up. 3 vaccine candidates, Moderna, Pfizer and Sputnik V, have now shown encouraging results in late-stage trials, with all 3 claiming an efficacy rate of over 90%. Speaking to India today, Union Health Minister Dr Harshvardhan expressed confidence that India will get COVID vaccine by early next year. Russia's vaccine Sputnik 5 will undergo phase 2 and 3 trials from next week in India. It will reach Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi Medical College in Kanpur, wherein more than 180 volunteers have already registered themselves for the clinical assessment of the vaccine. This comes after Russian President Vladimir Putin pledged vaccine help to India. Now, speaking exclusively to India Today, CEO of Russian Direct Investment Fund Kirill Dmitriev says he's looking forward to working with the Indian companies there for development of Sputnik 5 and the vaccine there on a much larger scale in India.
We are also being told Mr. Dmitriev, that the first shipment of the Sputnik V vaccine arrived in India a few days ago. Your partnering pharmaceutical company, Dr. Reddy's of Hyderabad, and we are told now that permission to conduct human trials has been given and the trials could happen within the next week in Kanpur. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And it's really a Russian-Indian vaccine that we believe Sputnik V is, because we are going to manufacture it jointly with several Indian companies, and obviously clinical trials are starting in India. So it's very much of a joint Russian-Indian effort. And not surprisingly to us, we just released results of a poll we've done in India. 60% of people in India have heard of Sputnik V. So we are starting clinical trials. India knows about our vaccine, and it's really a joint Russian-Indian vaccine that we are working on.
By when will the first set of vaccines be rolled out in India by you and your teams? Dr. Paul.
Well, Rahul, India is very fortunate that we have a very comprehensive industrial base for vaccine manufacturing. And we also have our R&D set up, very deep R&D set up to support development of vaccine and discovery of vaccine, and also a regulatory setup which is very robust and very, very respected. These 3 ingredients put together give us a huge hope for a very timely availability of vaccine. Now, the point is, when is it likely that we can have a vaccine for use in Indian people? I think if we are taking an optimistic view, it is possible that in the early part of 2021, yes, it will be a reality. However, this should be matched with caution, that we cannot take vaccine success for granted. As of today, despite the enthusiasm and hype, let's remember there is not a single vaccine which is licensed in any part of the country. So we remain hopeful, we are ahead of the curve, and we are making preparations should this opportunity arise in near future to be able to vaccinate a very large priority group for protection against COVID-19 in our country.
देखिए, ये डेट देना बहुत मुश्किल है, लेकिन वैक्सीन के रिसर्च के मामले में भारत के वैज्ञानिक जो है दुनिया के वैज्ञानिकों की तरह बहुत अच्छी तरह से काम कर रहे हैं. जैसे उसके जो कामयाबी के रिजल्ट्स आएंगे तो देश के सामने उनको प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा. निश्चित रूप से अगले साल के अंदर वैक्सीन आएगा और अगले साल के शुरुआती महीनों में ही आएगा.
Now, finally, shot in the arm for the COVID vaccine program there. 3 vaccine candidates, Moderna, Pfizer and Sputnik 5, have shown encouraging results in the late-stage trials, with all 3 claiming an efficacy rate of over 90%. This is hope of a COVID vaccine being ready by early next year. But the big question is, who gets the vaccine first and how?
Hope on the horizon. 2 US drug makers have reported encouraging results from the large trial testing of coronavirus vaccines back-to-back. Moderna announced its jab is almost 95% effective. Pfizer and co-developer BioNTech reported 90% efficacy in their vaccine candidate. For a pandemic that has infected more than 53 million and killed more than 1 million people around the world, the bar for an effective shot is set at 50%.
So now we have two vaccines that are really quite effective. So I think this is a really strong step forward to where we want to be about getting control of this outbreak.
Both Moderna and Pfizer used innovative technology in designing their vaccines.
This is such a different technology. It's very, very different from conventional ones. The main advantage is that with this technology, with the same production process, involving the same production of RNA, purification and formulation, you can produce virtually any RNA molecule, which then translates into basically any vaccine candidate.
In layman's terms, the concept means injecting part of the coronavirus genetic code into the body, which in turn stimulates the immune system to attack should the real virus try to invade. But a factor that could complicate their future distribution, especially to low-income areas in hot climates, is their storage and availability. Both require low temperatures, minus 20 degrees Celsius for Moderna and an ultra-cold storage of minus 75 Celsius for Pfizer. Routine flu and MMR vaccines in comparison can be stored safely between 2 and 8 Celsius.
If the question is when will I get the vaccine, a lot depends on where I am in the world. What we are seeing on the global stage play out at the moment is vaccine nationalism. Most of the rich nations have already pre-booked huge quantities of the vaccine, which has left others with very little.
A challenge for countries like India to inoculate their large population with genetic jabs like Moderna and Pfizer's. Rich countries have already cornered more than half of the promised supply of COVID-19 vaccines under development. Leftover stocks promised to nations like India, Bangladesh and Mexico.
The first agreement that we reached with the US government was for an order of 100 million doses. So we anticipate to be able to ship up to 20 million of those 100 million before the end of the year. So we are making product, as you know, every day and stockpiling it.
Remember, Britain's University of Oxford and Russia are among 10 other vaccine makers in the big phase 3 trials. They have also reported high degrees of efficacy. More than 50 other candidates are in earlier stages of testing. With rich countries hoarding the stockpiles already, India seems to have been ahead of the curve in other vaccine development programs indigenously and internationally.
There are several genetic vaccines like Moderna, Pfizer, Zydus, to name a few, that are in development. And AstraZeneca or the Oxford vaccine are being produced in India by the Serum Institute of India. So they will likely be available to most Indians. The timelines we can look at are maybe early January 2021 for frontline workers like healthcare workers, and mid of 2021 for the general Indian population.
No room for complacency. No letting the guard down over the hopeful news. Stay masked, stay distanced, with hand hygiene till a jab becomes widely available. With Aishwarya Paliwal, Bureau Report, India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.